Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Worst Cooks in Nebraska. As you may know, we will be filming at our homes because of the newly introduced coronavirus. Let's introduce our contestants for this episode. First up, we have farmer Dylan Deloy.
Hello, everyone.
Next up is softball-loving Faith Indra. Alrighty then, we have baker Grace Baumert. Finally, we have health expert Brian Scott. And as everyone should know, I am your host, Cassie Brevitz. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back. I will now let everyone let you know what dishes they'll be making.
Hi, my name is Dylan, and today I will be competing with making cereal.
Let's start with the basics on how to make scrambled eggs, and my name is Faith.
Hi, I'm Grace. Follow along to see how I make my award-winning peanut butter spice cookies.
My name is Brian, and if you're on a health kick, then vote for my homemade kale chips.
As a reminder, how the show works. These four will compete to win the title Worst High School Cooks in Nebraska. Each person will have 30 minutes to complete their dish. Some have chosen simpler dishes, which means they may not start right away, which is totally fine. Each participant will show you the process of making their dish, and then when all is done, a survey will be conducted to determine the winner. You can vote on our website, www.worsthighschoolcooksinnebraska.com. Alright everyone, let's get started. Ready people at home? Count down with me. 3, 2, 1,
I will be showing you how to make Fruity Loops cereal.
Step 1 to making scrambled eggs. Grab a glass bowl.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to gather all of your ingredients, and I'm just going to list them as I go along. It's just easier for me. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my mixing bowl and the paddle attachment, and this goes to my KitchenAid mixer you can see right there. And to start, I'm going to mix together my butter, my Crisco, and both of my sugars. I'm using a cup of salted room temperature butter, 2 cups of Crisco, and then 2 cups of both granulated sugar and brown sugar. I'm going to beat them in here for a few minutes, and yeah.
The food I'm going to be making is kale chips.
First, you start by pouring some milk in a bowl.
Step 2. Grab 2 eggs.
Okay, so the batter dough, whichever you call it, has been mixing for a few minutes, and I have all of the sugar, Crisco, butter in here. This is what it looks like. There you go. The next step you're going to do is you're going to take your eggs, and I'm using 4 of them, and I recommend cracking them into a separate bowl, and you're going to add them one at a time, and then mix it up, and then scrape down the sides of your bowls, and, add another one, and keep going with the process. So, there's my first egg. Boom. Throw this away. Rinse the fingers off. Okay, and then I'm going to just get all of my extra dough off here, and I'm going to set this there. Hook this back up to my mixer. Grab a napkin. To put this on here. And then I'm going to take my egg and making sure that there aren't any shells in there. That's why I crack it into a separate bowl. Is that way if there's a shell, you can just get it out right away. I'm going to put this into my mixer. Here. So you can see what I'm doing. I just put the egg into there, down, lock it, and start it on slow so you don't get anything all over. Crack my next egg.
The stuff you need to make the kale is the freshly washed and dried kale itself, a cookie sheet, parchment paper to put in the cookie sheet, olive oil, and sea salt.
So once you get your milk in the bowl, you put your cereal.
Step 3. Crack both eggs.
Okay, so I have mixed in all 4 of my eggs. This is what it's looking like here. Okay, so you're going to set this aside, and you're going to grab a large bowl, plastic bowl, whatever, doesn't really matter. And you're going to start measuring out your flour. We need 6 cups of flour. And we'll go like so. I have a measuring cup in there, but I don't want to use it. So, you need a knife, and you need a spoon. And the reason for this is you don't ever want to just dip in there because it's not very accurate. So you're actually going to take your spoon and you're just going to scoop it in there. Okay? And then the purpose for the knife would be to level it off. So you take the back of the knife and you simply go like so. Okay? I'm using a half cup. So I'm going to need 12 of these, but in total you need 6 cups of flour. I'm going to get my flour and I'll check back in.
I think I did that wrong. You're supposed to put the cereal in and then the milk.
Step 4. Grab a whisk. And whisk your eggs.
The first step to making kale chips is to preheat the oven to 350 degrees.
Okay, so I have all 6 cups of my flour, as you can see. And then now we're going to add all of our extra add-ins. So crushed red pepper flakes, paprika. This is where the spice peanut butter cookies come in. Ground cinnamon also goes in here. But to start, I'm going to add in 4 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to add in my crushed red pepper flakes. I forgot I had this cap on there. Take that out. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon. It can be less. Ooh, it smells good. Paprika, half a teaspoon. I'm just going to use this whole measuring one just to gauge. There's that. And then cinnamon. Wipe it off of my pant leg. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons. Ooh, it's really strong. 1 and 2. Okay, so that is it. And then I'm going to take my spoon. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix everything in. Make sure it's nice and incorporated.
I'm going to redo this and pour the cereal in first and try that.
Step 5. Grab your vanilla extract.
This first step, other than all the preparation, is to put your parchment paper into your cookie sheet. You want it to be fairly well fitted.
Step 6. Grab a tablespoon and measure your vanilla extract and pour in 2 eggs.
The next step is to put your washed and dried kale on the cookie sheet and spread it out.
There, that looks a whole lot better.
Step 7. Grab your chili powder, open it, and put as much as you would like. Sounds good.
Okay, so the final step is to add our flour. And you can do this a couple different ways. I'm actually going to use my stand mixer to mix because I didn't think it was going to make this much. But if I were making like a single batch, I would just mix them by hand. And I have 6 cups of flour to mix in. So yeah, it might take a while. So I'm just going to start my mixer on low and then add in a couple of spoonfuls, let it mix, a few more. I'm just going to let it run the whole time, so I'll show you what it is like here. That's what you don't want to happen. So, I'm going to pause and clean up my mess. Because I kind of got flour everywhere. Also, I'm going to take this time to scrape down my sides real fast. So, I will be right back.
The next step after you put your kale is to drizzle the olive oil on it. You don't need much olive oil, but you do need some.
Step 8. Grab your basil leaves and pour as you wish. About right.
Okay, so I'm now in my dining room, and I have my 2 cookie sheets, my dough, I have a fork and a cookie scoop, and I just put parchment paper on my first cookie sheet, just so it's not hanging over. I'm watching my dog, Clara. And make sure you use parchment paper, not wax. So now I'm just going to take my cookie scoop, and I'll move it down so you can see it. Go out. And then, so you have that there, and I put 2 on each, like so. I'll just do a few real quick to show you. Okay, and then I take a fork, and some people dip this in sugar, but I don't. And then I simply make that signature peanut butter cookie crisscross on each one. Now my oven has been preheating to 400 degrees. I'm sure you heard it go off a little bit ago. And these are going to bake, my guess is they're going to take 10 to 12 minutes. So I will finish out this pan and I will put them in the oven for starting at 10, but again, they could take anywhere like up to 14.
Step 9. Take your other seasoning and pour as you wish. Okay.
The next step before you put it in the oven is to put the sea salt on the kale. It's actually rather important that you put the olive oil on first, because otherwise the sea salt doesn't stick to the kale.
Step 10. Take your whisk and whisk all ingredients together.
The next step is to put the kale into the oven. And set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. And then wait.
Step 11. Grab the cord for your skillet.
The last 2 steps to baking kale chips is to pull out and enjoy. I will let this cool a bit before I enjoy it though.
Okay, so your cookies have now baked for 10 to 12 minutes, however long it takes, depending on the size of your cookie. As you can see, I have laid out a brown paper bag. This is going to help soak up any oil or grease that the cookies have. You can just take them off of your baking sheet and then put them on here to cool, just until they're cooled down, and then they can go into a plastic container or whatever you decide to store them in. And yeah.
Okay. Step 12. Stir as you wish, and then pour on to skillet.
I like it. They're really good.
Step 13. Take the eggs and put them together and just chop them up. Okay, and add the rest of the eggs as you wish.
You like the cookies?
Yeah. Alright, once it is how you would like it, you grab a plate and scoop onto your plate. And you would like to make it look decently pretty. So there's that. And we will take some cilantro leaves and pour them on.
With a few minutes remaining, let's let them finish and take a short break. Time is up. Hands in the air. People at home, you now have 5 minutes to vote. Please visit our website and pick your favorite. Alright, the results are in. Let's have a look. Looks like the winner is Dylan.
Oh my god, I won!
Way to go, Dylan. I should really try your recipe.
Good job, Dylan!
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week for another new episode of Worst High School Cooks in Nebraska.